It has been a few years since the previous video which I did on my dog Sabai, who underwent acupuncture treatment from the vet to treat his leg paralysis. The treatment has worked well and Sabai is able to walk like normal. I thought that I will wish to update you further on what has been happening after Sabai has undergone the first treatment. After he did his first treatment, the doctor prescribed, the vet told me that Sabai actually has some nerve deficiency, nerve issue, which make him very susceptible to paralysis whenever he has even little bit of ticks biting him. This is not surprising because Sabai is actually a stray. We brought him in the time he was a stray pup. So when his mother carried him, it will well be likely that he didn't get the nutrition or he has some deficiency that result in this lifelong issue. So the vet told me there's no cure for it. The only thing is they are using Chinese medication to supplement it. So initially, we took a certain dosage, and then after that, the vet give like for about 1 or 2 months. Then we had Sabai eat the medicine, and then we also control the tick infestation in our home. I will probably do another video on how to have the tick infestation control, because we have tried a few methods and found out and come into one method that works the best. Anyway, back to this story. What we did is that we gave Sabai the tick medication. We actually give him tick medication, and then after that, he could control the ticks, and this is followed by Chinese. He's also taking Chinese medication. Now, what happened is after the medication finished, we didn't fill up the prescription. So in about 2 months, again, Sabai got paralysis. So we took him to the vet again. And then from there, the vet advised us that Sabai would probably need to come for acupuncture treatment, preferably once, if not once a month or once every 2 months. Now, not long after that, I've shifted out. I'm no longer staying with Sabai. I do miss Sabai very much. But then, my brother is tasked with the responsibility of feeding Sabai the medicine twice a day, and it's on long term. So I think there was one time last year, he was a bit busy with work. He did not have time to take leave to go to the vet to fill up the prescription. And what happened was that Sabai got paralyzed again. So my brother had to take him to do the acupuncture treatment. And then after that, prescribed the Chinese medicine. But basically, after the initial 2 acupuncture treatment, we actually was just putting him on medication and controlling the ticks to make sure that the tick infestation do not come back. So far, he did not have much paralysis. He did not suffer except for the incident last year, whereby it's again being helped by acupuncture. So that is why I've not heard, especially in the West, I've not heard much about acupuncture being explored in pets. But I strongly hope that this practice will be a norm in the West, because when Sabai first suffered from paralysis, I was really very down. I thought that he will lose quality of life, because Sabai, he is a very clean dog. He doesn't like to poo all over the place. So when he wanted to poo, but his hind legs couldn't move, he basically used his front legs to drag himself towards the garden so that he is able to poo there. I will show you the video of how he is doing it. So you can see that once with the treatment, because Sabai is able to gain mobility on his movement, he's able to be independent back. Most of the time, from what I heard, if the dog is paralyzed, unless they can make some improvised like back wheels for the dog to move, if not, most of the time I heard, unfortunately, the option is to have the dog euthanized or being put down, which is very sad. Any dog lover, anyone who have a dog, who have the pets, after a few years, we'll grow to love our pet as part of our family. They become a really dear. They are very dear to us. So to put them down, I think is very, very sad. Acupuncture treatment is not something that is considered, it is known or heard or probably heard of. I mean, to even treat human, many people don't really believe in acupuncture treatment, but even in humans, I believe it, because my mom herself has fallen down twice and has lost mobility. And I only took her to acupuncture treatment for a few times, and she was able to regain some strength in her leg and not be in pain. If we are not open-minded to such treatment, the person's condition is going to deteriorate. As what if we only base on taking supplements or just even doing physio, it's not that effective, because acupuncture helps to clear the blockages, and it also helps to repair the nerve. I don't know how it works because I'm not a TCM doctor, but I know that it works, because within that is what that is mostly being recommended by within the society I live in. We are familiar with that practice. However, in dogs, in pets, is really not common. The first vet, actually, the doctor who did the acupuncture was the second vet I took Sabai to. The first vet, he only used conventional treatment. He basically told me to control the tics. Even if I control the tics, I can still see that Sabai's movement was very weak already. Like, it just takes like 1 or 2 ticks on his body and he will just become paralyzed. So it's a nerve issue. So you have to strengthen that in the body, and that could only be done by treatments like acupuncture. I hope that that vets in the West will consider employing this. I'm not sure how this skill could be learned, and I'm grateful that the vet in my area have this knowledge. Of course, after I published the video and posted it in my blog, the vet's business has gone tremendously good, until I guess she is a little overwhelmed. But there is a demand for this, and I sincerely hope that one day this kind of treatment will become a norm. This is just why I want to put up this video, because I want to create awareness about this form of treatment. I've also heard that I've also read long time ago, for those that have really no access to acupuncture for their dogs and all this, I've heard a long time ago that that somebody actually did guasa. Guasa means, the guasa board. They actually use it to guasa on their pets, and I think it also helped their pets to improve. But this is I'm not able to trace the article anymore, because this has been like 10 years ago. I've heard that somebody actually did that. Means they use guasa method. They take the guasa board, which I'll put in the picture here, and then they just scrape. They call meridian scraping method. And then they scrape on their pet's backbone, and then the pet actually got better. It's what I do myself also for back pain, because it's not to say always I'm able to afford to go for treatment. So I also use the guasa to help myself. It actually, maybe you can give it a try. If let's say the doctor do not have much hope on the pet. Just start gently, and then after that, see how it goes. It takes, I think, maybe about a week or two before you can see whether the treatment is going to work or not, because these are very the repair is gradual. And then also to give your dog or your cat the necessary nutrition that is being prescribed by the vet, that maybe some medication, some vitamin B complex or something, neobiome, that can help with the nerve for the dog as well. So I hope things will get better. I know how you feel if you have an animal that have that condition, your beloved pet have that condition. I know how terrible it feels. But I would just like to update also. So what happened? So recently, Sabai, what happened? He did not feel well again. He had some fever. Took him to the vet, and then the vet given him some antibiotics, and but the vet referred him to an animal hospital. So we took him there, and the vet told us that Sabai has some prostate inflammation and some urinal infection. So the vet suggested to castrate Sabai. But Sabai is a male dog, so I'm not sure how it goes. I'm not sure whether we should castrate him. My brother didn't think it's a good idea. We'll just see how it goes. If you have some experience in castrating your male dog due to this prostate inflammation, do share with me, so at least I know whether it should be the treatment for him or not. Because Sabai is if he don't have no problem, he is honestly a very active dog. He runs around in the garden, and then he would like to chase birds and run, and basically just run around, be a busybody, going around, noticing what is happening. Okay, this is just an update on what happens. I hope that if there's any, your pet will get better, and take care.